What's going on, guys? It's JCJ, your coach of the North Melbourne Kangaskhans, and we're coming at you with the TBA Season 3 Week 2 Teambuilder against Spooks and the downtown Duskulls. Spooks is also one loss, but it's got a slightly better differential. It's very close at the moment in our conference, in the Unova conference, and this is our second battle. He's got a very powerful team, so let's just get right into it. First of all, he's got a Volcarona, which is a very scary and very powerful setup sweeper with Quiver Dance, Bug Fire, Dual Stab, hits almost everything at least effective with neutral damage. Very powerful special attack stat, very high speed, so we can outspeed a lot of things. Next we got Rillaboom, which sets up grassy terrain. This boosts the power of grass type moves, nullifies the damage of ground type moves, and also heals each Pokemon by, I think it's an 8th or a 16th each turn, and it's probably a 16th each turn of their max HP. It's got a very strong attack stat, very good Assault Vest user, very good Banded or Scarf user with a great speed. It's got a lot of coverage, including Knockoff or Darkest Lariat. It's got U-Turn, it's got Earthquake, it's got a lot of things that can hit what would be my normal switch-ins to this thing, so this thing is very scary. Next we have Registeel, which is one of his stealth rockers. It's got fantastic bulk, 150 defenses, and usable HP in 80. It's a very, very powerful, well, not powerful per se, but very bulky Pokemon and very difficult to take down, especially since it can't be toxic unless you are a Salazzle. Next is Tentacruel. His special defense wall, his primary rapid spinner, and one of his two toxic spike setters. This thing is very fast as well, but it usually doesn't run speed, but a rapid spin could allow it to outspeed a fair bit of my team. So that's something to note. Next is Runerigus, his second stealth rocker and his second toxic spikes user. Ghost ground type, so it's got a fair bit of weaknesses, but it's very bulky, and it's got this ability Wandering Spirit, which essentially replaces, it swaps its ability with mine. So that could be, it could be a bit annoying, but we'll manage it as the game progresses. Next is Ampharos, which is his electric type, not very fast but very bulky, and it's got a usable special attack stat. It hits pretty hard, should never be underestimated, but no hidden power really hinders it. It gets a bit of coverage, it also gets screens, but I honestly don't think he might bring this, but I don't think he will. Next is Mega Alakazam, exceptionally powerful, exceptionally fast, bulky-ish on the special side, but really poor on the defensive side. It gets great coverage as well with Shadow Ball and Focus Blast, as well as I think it gets Energy Ball. So this thing is going to be a nightmare to beat. It outspeeds my entire team, and it gets Trace, so it can trace my ability and use it on itself. But this thing outspeeds my entire team. It'll likely, it can run Modest, so it can be a Modest Alakazam, unless he runs Timbered to try and outspeed a Scarfer, a potential Scarfer of mine. Next is Vanillux. Vanillux, what it does is it basically just sets up Aurora Veil. That's the main thing that it does. It sets up Hail on entry, and then it sets up Aurora Veil, and that allows his team to come in, set up, and sweep, almost for free. It's essentially Reflect and Light Screen into one, and reduces all the damage of all attacks, but it can be removed by Defog and Brick Break, which is something to note. Next we got Hawlucha, which is his terrain sweeper, taking advantage of Rillaboom's Grassy Surge, base 118 speed, and that gets doubled after an Unburden boost from the terrain. It's got 92 attack and great offensive dual typing and fighting and flying. It gets close combat, gets Brave Bird, and one Swords Dance could potentially be the end of the game. Mimikyu is a similar Pokemon. It doesn't get that massive speed boost, but it does have an outstanding attack and can get up a free Swords Dance because of its Disguise ability. It has been nerfed so that it takes damage when the Disguise is broken, but it's not much damage, and it doesn't really change the fact that Mimikyu can body me as well. And lastly, we got Crabominable. which is another really powerful Pokemon that he has. Base 132 attack with its fist moves boosted by its ability, Iron Fist. It's very slow as well. Doesn't underspeed my whole team, but a Trick Room, a potential Trick Room Crabominable with Runerigus wouldn't be unheard of. Looking at the type matchup, he's very weak to Fire, Flying, and Ghost, which is something I tried to take advantage of in this game. Doesn't have too many other big weaknesses, but these three are the most prominent ones. As you can see, it has no Ghost resists and only one Fire resist, which is the Tentacruel. His only flying resists are Registeel and Ampharos. I don't think Ampharos is coming at all, but Registeel is probably making an appearance. We don't really have a Pokemon that can abuse his Ghost weakness that well. But we do have a very powerful Fire type and an exceptionally powerful Flying type in Staraptor. So let's break down the team that I'm bringing for this game, and we're going to kick things off with I left the oven on, which is our Choice Scarf Heatran. So Heatran, he's got a very big Fire weakness. His only switch in is Tentacruel. Unfortunately, that does take, it can eat a few Earth powers, but once that thing's out of the way, if we're at full health, we can just click Eruption, and something is going to take a lot of damage. Eruption is a base 150 Fire type, Fire-powered special attack move, and we have to be max HP for it to work the best. We can also run Flamethrower, or we can run Lava Plume if we want, but I don't think we will. We might, but I don't think we will because we want that extra damage. We've also got Earth Power for coverage on the Tentacruel, but we might make some adjustments and swap that to Earthquake. And we've also got Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse is to hit the Alakazam super effectively. If we're weak, we can try and come in on the Alakazam and revenge kill it with Dark Pulse if we need to. It can also hit the Runerigus, because Runerigus is exceptionally bulky and Flamethrower or Eruption might not be enough. Next we got Mohawk, which is our banded Staraptor with Reckless, Brave Bird, Close Combat, Quick Attack and U-Turn, Max Attack, Max Speed, Jolly, so it speed tires with Max Speed, Timid, Volcarona. Brave Bird spam absolutely obliterates him. His only real switch in is Registeel, which gets hit hard by Close Combat. U-Turn is there for momentum, so we can U-turn on his Registeel and chip away at it with Heatran. We can go straight into Heatran and Eruption, so that gives us some free Eruptions. And Quick Attack is for revenge killing. So I ran the calc, and Quick Attack is going to be very useful in revenge killing Pokemon like Volcarona, Hawlucha, Mega Alakazam, because they're not really that great on the physical defense side. So we could take big advantage of this and revenge kill quite a bit with Quick Attack, but we're mainly going to be clicking Brave Bird in close combat while it's on the field, while it's alive to do, recoil. Next we got False God, our Silvally Ghost, Defog, Parting Shot, Multi-Attack, Rock Slide. I went AWOL on these EVs. This thing is our Hawlucha switch-in. It comes in on Hawlucha. It can live a +2 Brave Bird after Stealth Rocks. What we can do is we can Parting Shot out, or we can multi-attack it for 50%, which is fantastic chip, especially if it takes some damage from rocks or something beforehand. We got a little bit of speed to outspeed, I think it's Uninvested Tentacruel. We've also got some attack and some special defense in there as well, so we can take on the Volcarona. I'm pretty sure we can live a +1 or a +2 Flamethrower and hit it hard back with Rock Slide, but this thing can't. But if Volcarona tries to set up on us, we can Rock Slide it. We can blow it back for a good chunk of health, and this can really help us out long term. We're trying to make it so that they can't set up on any of our Pokemon, so nothing is free setup fodder. Next we got Mazda, once again with Poison Point, because I don't want that Mega Alakazam tracing our speed boost. We're running 330 speed to believe it's to outspeed 330. Outspeeds the Mimikyu and outspeeds the Tentacruel. I think it's like max speed Tentacruel and max speed Volcarona without a boost. Poison Jab, EQ, Rock Slide, Baton Pass. So we're pretty much coming in, taking a few hits, doing damage back. This is our primary Rillaboom switch-in. Scolipede is the only Pokemon on my team that he can't really hit super effectively. He's got coverage for literally everything else except for Scolipede. But Scolipede comes in on Rillaboom. It can also come in on the Registeel or something like that, and it can do a lot back with Earthquake or Poison Jab or Rock Slide, depending on whatever's in. Earthquake might not be great if he gets Terrain up, which really benefits the Registeel, but I can also Baton Pass out into Heatran or into Staraptor to get that momentum and to blow it back. Next, we're bringing our Season 1 Savior, Mega Diancie, Stealth Rocks, Power Gem, Moonblast, Earth Power, fairly similar to last week. Two max HP, 120 defense, Bold Nature with the rest in special attack. This is another Hawlucha switch-in. Essentially, it comes in, it can take a hit from Hawlucha, it can also take a hit from Mimikyu, but Hawlucha at +2 can't kill this Mega Diancie set, and we can essentially one-shot it back with Moonblast. We've also got the Power Gem so that we can try and blow back the Volcarona. I think we have a chance of living a hit, but this is essentially more bulky offense. He can't set up in my face. And last but not least, we have Suicune, Scald, Rest, Talk, Extrasensory. Special defensive, this is my Mega Alakazam switch-in, and this is also my Volcarona, well, one of my Volcarona answers. It kind of does let Volcarona set up in its face, but I can just switch out into something else. But if we can get a couple Scalds off, which does do quite a lot regardless. Rest, Talk to keep ourselves healthy because we're not bringing Umbreon. I really wanted to bring Umbreon, but we can't really fit it in anywhere. We kind of need everything else. Extrasensory is to hit the Tentacruel as it comes in. I was tossing between Extrasensory and Ice Beam to hit the Rillaboom, but we have Rillaboom switch-ins. We don't really have any legitimate Tentacruel switch-ins. Scolipede comes in and sits on its T-Spikes, or Silvally can blow them away, but we don't really have any dedicated Tentacruel switch-ins, so if we can just Extrasensory and predict the switch, then that'll just be really beneficial. So this is going to be a very difficult battle, but we're going to try our best and see how we go. He has a very powerful team. I fully expect Volcarona will probably make an appearance, Hawlucha and Mega Alakazam will probably make an appearance. I can see Rillaboom coming, maybe like an Assault Vest set. Registeel could come. It's really a good Mega Diancie switch-in. It also comes in on Staraptor. There's only Staraptor switch-in, so he kind of has to bring it. He can also he could bring a lot of things. He could also bring Mimikyu. He could bring Tentacruel, but we'll see what he's got and we'll play it by ear because it's really hard to predict what he's going to bring in this one. He just has a very powerful team, and we'll see how we go. So I will see you in the battle. Peace out.